Hi there. I'm Tim Stroshane, policy analyst with Restore the Delta. I joined Restore the Delta at a crucial point in fall 2014. Drought was raging and California water fix was happening, and it seemed so huge that we had difficulty imagining that it was stoppable. But it turned out it was. We helped stop the beast through public and social media and before the State Water Board. My job here has been to fit RTD into policy debates before the State Water Board, the California Water Commission, and sometimes the Delta Stewardship Council. We do this by routinely upending the preferred stories of California's water juggernaut. We know that water is foundational to regional self-determination and wealth. Owens Valley learned this the hard way when Los Angeles legally stole its water over a century ago. This plunder sapped the valley's foundational wealth and hobbles it to this day. It doesn't have to be this way for the Delta. Fortunately, Stockton and Delta residents know this in their bones, that it is morally wrong for one region to take water to benefit another region without returning something of equal value to the area of origin. That is the moral argument we pound out daily at Restore the Delta. And my role is to convert that argument into policy terms. When we pivoted to environmental justice a few years back, we did so because we saw deep and enduring connections between environmental justice principles and communities and the best principles of California water law and policy. These include ending disparities in the shouldering of environmental burdens, protecting the public trust resources of the Delta for all, ensuring that water uses and methods of diversion are reasonable, and cajoling the Delta Stewardship Council and other state, federal, regional, and local water agencies to follow state law by reducing reliance on the Delta for California's future water needs. This pivot toward environmental justice is generational too. I'm certainly not getting any younger, and we decided we must train up a new generation of Delta water protectors, young people who are social media savvy and knowledgeable about Delta water policy, law, history, ecology, and climate justice. I'm truly honored to serve Restore the Delta all these years and to help train up the young folks for what's to come. Thanks.
My name is Brian Smith. I grew up on a farm just east of Stockton. I've been involved with Restore the Delta since the start in 2006. At the time, there were lots of threats to the ecosystem, but no coordinated voice uniting conservationists, farmers, and residents from all the Delta counties. So we gathered leaders from many organizations and held an all-day meeting at UOP, where we hammered out a list of common objectives and adopted the name Restore the Delta. To ensure the Delta was fishable, swimmable, and farmable, that was the common ground on which this diverse coalition would organize. These are coincidentally the goals of the Federal Clean Water Act as well. It's been fascinating to watch the organization grow and expand over the years. I'm glad to see Restore the Delta now gaining support from the Bay Area. When we understand the Bay and Delta are one large estuary worth protecting, the Delta gains thousands of new supporters from the Bay. I'm also thrilled to see RTD training a new generation of water leaders who actually grew up in the Delta. The energy and wisdom these young people bring to the fight is very exciting. What makes Restore the Delta different from the big organizations is that it's always been a grassroots effort. Grassroots support has kept this organization alive because the people of the Delta know it is needed, and that Barbara and her team work 24/7 to meet their goals. In the future, I hope Restore the Delta can win an increase of water flows through the Delta that protects California's vanishing fish and to protect our communities from harmful algal blooms. I also hope the beauty and history of the Delta become a tourist attraction for the Bay Area and Valley residents. Many don't even know this beautiful resource exists in their own backyards. Keep up the good work. Restore the Delta.
I also think a lot about, particularly in Stockton, because I grew up in East Stockton, born and raised. And until 2015, when I became an intern for Restore the Delta, I had absolutely no idea the Delta's impact, not just on the region, but on California. And so, unfortunately, that's a typical Stockton story. And, we're seeing that a lot with our climate water advocates, where they're all so invested in, what they want to do, whether it's engineering or whether it's urban planning or just sciences in general. They're also finding out for the first time, actually getting to go into some of these places that they probably wouldn't have had access to before.
We are training our climate water advocates right now, not only on the history and the management of water and the Delta, but how are we going to deal with contemporary water quality problems? And to that end, now we have a program where we have them going out and observing conditions. We were so happy to come out of COVID. It was our first time out with them in the field last week. And we got to work with scientists from San Francisco Baykeeper, and they got to fly drones to look for HABs and harmful algal blooms, and they found them, okay? Showing them places where to go to actually get into the interior of the Delta. That is a program we are so committed to expanding, because what did we learn from COVID? Besides the fact that people need togetherness, we need data so that we can take care of our communities and protect ourselves. And being able to have young people who see it as a cultural resource and a recreational resource, but also as a job resource. This is career pathway work that we're doing with young adults. Our team, they're studying engineering, structural engineering, environmental engineering. They're studying urban planning. And so this goes hand in hand with what they are pursuing in their studies. And we're really trying to position ourselves to become EPA certified, US EPA, so that we are actually reporting quality data back to the government that the government can find useful in its management of the estuary. We think it's ripe for economic development. We think it's an environmental asset. And we think that doing this kind of work is problem solving.